If you're given a four-sided figure, or more precisely, a convex polygon that has four sides, it's called a quadrilateral. Quadrilaterals can further be subdivided into special quadrilaterals. So let's just look at this schematic here. Quadrilaterals could be parallelograms. Quadrilaterals can be trapezoids, or quadrilaterals can be kites. So this is the first level of subdivision, and what you need to do is you need to look at the properties of the given quadrilateral and figure out, into which of these three categories it falls. So for example, if I'm given a quadrilateral like this, okay, all I know is that one pair of sides is parallel, then I can determine that it is a trapezoid. And in order to do that, I need to know the properties of a trapezoid. A trapezoid cannot be a parallelogram, and it cannot be a kite. But if I do find that I have a trapezoid, I can further make a determination as to whether it's isosceles or not. And this trapezoid has legs that are not congruent, so this is not an isosceles trapezoid. One of the ways to interpret this chart or look at this chart is if you go from the bottom up. So let's start with the square. A square has all the properties of a rectangle. In fact, it is a rectangle with four congruent sides. A rectangle has all the properties of a parallelogram, plus it has four right angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has, in addition to the square is a rectangle with four congruent sides. A rectangle is a parallelogram with four right angles, four congruent right angles. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral. So if you go up from the bottom, the square is always a rectangle, it's always a parallelogram, it is always a quadrilateral. But if I was coming down from the top, so from the quadrilateral, I would say quadrilateral can sometimes be a parallelogram, which can sometimes be a rectangle, which can sometimes be a square. Let's look at the parallelogram again. A parallelogram can sometimes be a rectangle and sometimes it can be a rhombus. So when it has only four right angles, it is a rectangle. When it has four congruent sides, but you don't know what the angle measures are, then it is a rhombus. A rhombus with four right angles is a square. So square has the properties of both a rectangle as well as a rhombus. So you could once more say a square is always a rhombus, which is always a parallelogram, which is always a quadrilateral. A rectangle can never be a rhombus, and it can never be an isosceles trapezoid. They are mutually exclusive. Parallelogram cannot be a trapezoid, and it cannot be a kite. Mutually exclusive. So when you look at this hierarchy going downwards, you say a quadrilateral is always the thing below it, and I'm sorry, let me take that back. A quadrilateral is sometimes the thing that's below it, and if you go upwards from one level to the next, then it's always. If you go across at the same level, it is never. Okay, moving forward, you just look at these questions, you draw your diagrams, and then you look at the specific properties and see which ones your shape satisfies. It is very important before you do this to have all the properties of a rectangle, square, rhombus, yada 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 memorized so you can quickly apply them. I'm just taking a look at all the problems, and I think they're all doable, so good luck.